Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hari Naam Sankirtan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामी नामने नमो आचार्यपादाय निताय कृपाप्रदायने गौरकथाधामदाय नगरग्राम तारणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारणे. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. Wish you a very happy 76th Vyaspuja. Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur instructions to preach in English language to many devotees. But it was Srila Prabhupada who embraced the instructions with his heart to follow it. Similarly, Guru Maharaj tries to follow each and every instruction given by Srila Prabhupada. He has received more than 60 instructions and he has listed down all of those instructions. In fact, his Jaypataka Swami app has all the instructions and he asks his disciples to support each of those instructions. Some of them are expand Krishna consciousness movement unlimitedly, develop Mayapur Dham, development of Navadvip Mandal, unite the Saraswat family of Gaudiya Vaishnava, build the magnificent TOVP temple, distribute 10,000 big books and 100,000 small books in a month, to initiate 50,000 disciples. Guru Maharaj has already followed the instructions and has initiated 50,000 disciples, and right now he has made around 70,000 disciples. So in this way, Guru Maharaj has followed so many of the minute instructions which Srila Prabhupada has given. Once one of the professors in an inaugural function mentioned to new students, "You all are new to the institute. If you want to gain understanding on your own, then you're welcome. It's your first year at the institute. But if you want to gain understanding as per me, then welcome to the institute with 20 years of experience, as I have been here for 20 years. Similarly, Guru Maharaj has tons of experience, and if he just follows instructions and path, we would be able to make faster progress in spiritual life. What Guru Maharaj does in one day, we can't do in 1 month also. He gives every second of his life for Krishna service. In his early days, Guru Maharaj would go each day for 40 kilometers in bicycle and preach to even construction workers. He has spent highest number of hours in flight, in air. In the year 1999, he took 117 flights in a single year, 365 days. Until now, he has done more than 2,000 flights till day to travel and preach. He was not bewildered at all by different difficult situations, like the takeover of one of the largest Corn temple in Bangalore, India. There was a knife attack on him in 1988. He had stroke on 2008. He has navigated all of those difficulties and remained ever enthusiastic, chanting Lord Gauranga's name. So Guru Maharaj was in ISKCON Juhu in 2008 when he got stroke. And a day before that, he was in Chowpatty temple to give lecture. In the lecture, he mentioned that when he was young, in those days in US, he would get coupons to fill in the basket as many objects as possible in a shop in 30 seconds. And all of the shoppers were scrambled to fill as many things as possible in their basket. So Guru Maharaj says that was 30 seconds. He compared that to our life. We are not even sure that we will live even for 3 seconds. Therefore, Guru Maharaj says that I am running from one city to another, one country to another country. Whatever opportunities that I get to receive mercy of Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, I try hard to receive them. He also said that if you can train your mind to always think of Krishna, then you are safe. Once in Malaysia, a new bhakta, devotee, was serving Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj actually hugged that devotee, and he hugged like other devotees as well. And anybody who would go close to Guru Maharaj, he would hear the name Gauranga. So that devotee got emotional and asked Guru Maharaj, do you need anything? So Guru Maharaj in turn said that, yes, I need KP. So he got confused what KP is. So he went to other senior grihasthas and brahmacharis, and they were all also confused and surprised, and they went to Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, we did not understand what KP is. So Guru Maharaj said, yes, I want KP. I want Krishna Prem. So in this way, Guru Maharaj always is very enthusiastic and jovial, even though he has so many health issues and so many problems. So how Srila Guru Maharaj got the name Jaypataka Swami? So Srila Prabhupada, how Guru Maharaj got the name Jaypataka Swami, so Srila Prabhupada gave him the name Jaypataka Swami. And before that, he used to publish Gaudiya Patrika. So in that, he quoted Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentioned in his teachings about Namhatta system of preaching, and he said that the Namhatta preaching would supersede all other kinds of preaching within the near future. In the Gauranga Mahaprabhu lineage, all false and artificial additions will very soon be cleared out. The victory flag or Jaypataka of the pure holy names of the Supreme Lord will be shining and flying all over the world. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada actually gave him the apt name Jaypataka Swami, because he has been going around the world to give the pure holy name of the Lord. Srinathji Prabhu, who was a devotee from Mumbai, he mentioned about Guru Maharaj in different places, Mayapur, Mumbai, Kolkata. And he described that Guru Maharaj is one of the eternal associate of Mahaprabhu, as told by Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada stayed in Nathji Desai's home. So Nathji Desai was one of the prominent parliamentarians of India at that time. He was MP. And Prabhupada stayed at his place, as there was no temple till then in the city. So Srila Prabhupada actually asked N.D. Desai that you please try to give citizenship to this young boy, Guru Maharaj. And he asked him to use his influence as member of parliament. So Nathji Desai said that this young man is successful. He seems very rich. Why does he want to have Indian citizenship? He exclaimed that what is there in India? Millions of young Indians want American citizenship. So Srila Prabhupada told that, he is an eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya. When Lord Chaitanya had appeared on this planet, he also appeared. He told that in this gathering of, Srinathji Prabhu told this among so many devotees, 10,000, 20,000. And Prabhupada clearly proclaimed that he is eternal associate of Mahaprabhu. So with this, I would like to seek blessings of Guru Maharaj, that I progress in my bhakti and I satisfy all the Vaishnavas, His Holiness Harivilas Maharaj, all the devotees, and so that I can progress in my Krishna consciousness and ever remain connected to you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschita Desatane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gauraktavrinda. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams to everyone present here. Dandavat pranams to Harivilas Maharaj, Dandavat pranams to His Holiness Jaypataka Swami Guru Maharaj. Maharaj, we are very grateful and thankful that you have come to this material world, and I would like to wish you a very happy Krishna conscious birthday on this 76th appearance occasion of yours. While discovering myself in high school, I was curious to see a string of beads in my mother's hands when she used to take to Krishna consciousness initially, and she used to keep chanting and mentioning a lot about Guru Maharaj and his pastimes. Just like how the fragrance precedes the fragrant flower pastimes, realizations and interactions with whom she kept referring to as Guru Maharaj was always in the background of my childhood, and that got me hooked and inclined towards Krishna consciousness once I started fledging and exploring the realities of world. Once when our family had the fortune of serving and hosting Guru Maharaj back in our hometown, my mom had this inclination that I should also try serving him. So I still remember very jovially that I was able to offer him fruits, and he was able to smuggle one in behind his shawl. And later on, I also heard that that's one of his common pastimes, where he takes devotees' prasad and smuggles it behind his shawl so that his devotees close to him don't take it away, because he has a lot of health conditions and he has to stick to his strict diet. So I view that as his first mercy, as to bestowing upon me, upon a naive little kid who's taking his fledgling steps into Krishna consciousness. His invisible hand of protection and inspiration simply permeated me, and life as I knew it went for a toss. His smile, his thundering away to reach us despite physical challenges, always inspires me in particular to take Krishna consciousness very seriously. His cocoon of mind-blowing protection is very, very warming and very, very inspiring to proceed and practice bhakti in a very devout level to which he practices. I get immense pleasure, joy, and satisfaction in even trying to serve or strive to please Guru Maharaj. I feel that whatever energy and capacity I have, please bless me to serve you and always show my gratitude to you, Guru Maharaj. I know even a lifetime of seva towards you wouldn't be enough, as you have given us something so precious. So thank you for this opportunity to take shelter and walk in this path under your guidance. Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Make this shorter. Come over here. Yeah, very good. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'm very happy to speak about His Divine Grace, Jaypataka Maharaj. He's a very good friend of mine. And I've had many different pastimes with him. He is the most generous devotee I've ever met, because he always gives presents. And he every time I met him, he always gave me presents. And besides that, he would always insist that I sit with him and have prasadam. But his prasadam was different than any other prasadam. Every time he would sit down to take prasadam, there would be 64 preparations. I'm not kidding you. 64 preparations. And it just kept coming, all the different preparations would just keep coming like waves in an ocean, And he loved to have nice prasadam. So his disciples would make very, very opulent prasadam, and he would force me to sit next to him, and then sometimes the devotees would have kirtan, and then they would come and touch Maharaj's feet, and then he told them, you have to touch his feet also, meaning me. So I tried to stop them, but no, he said, no, don't stop this. So he was always very kind with me. I've had many experiences with Jaypataka Maharaj, and but the most important, or let's say the most extravagant experience, is having prasadam with him, because it's just one preparation after another. It keeps coming and coming and coming, and each one is opulent and very, very tasty, and it's like being in the spiritual world with Krishna and having unlimited prasadam. So that was that's one of his, let's say, hallmarks of his association with devotees, not just with me, but anybody. He's always been very, very cordial, and especially having a lot of prasadam. So I want to say a few words, and that is, Jaypataka Maharaj was born, his name was John Gordon Erdman, in April 9, 1949, and in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in the United States. And he was born into an opulent family, his father's father being the founder of a large paint factory, which was a multi-million-dollar concern at the time of his birth. Later, Jaypataka Maharaj was glad to see that his name, Gordon John, or Gordon John, already suggested what Prabhupada confirmed, that he and two other devotees were formerly associates of Lord Chaitanya, and that they had taken their birth in the West to facilitate spreading Krishna consciousness around the world. So, his name was given to him by his family as Gordon John, but he pronounced it Gurdan John, meaning that he is the associate of Lord Chaitanya. And that suggested that he had a very auspicious birth and a very auspicious name, and that he was going to have a very auspicious life of Krishna consciousness. So when Jaypataka Maharaj was 11 years old, at the suggestion of his grandfather, he cured himself of a skin disease by calling on the name of God. At 14, he graduated almost effortlessly in the very top of his class from St. John's Academy, a college preparatory school. He was offered full scholarships, including tuition, books, fooding, lodging, plus incidental expenses by several major universities around America. As a fresh enrollee, he was so much moved by a guest lecture on the life of Buddha that he lost all interest in his studies, and he began searching for a spiritual master. After some time searching and performing austerity, he concluded he would have to go to India to find his teacher, or his guru. As he was preparing to leave for India, he met the devotees of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, doing kirtan and distributing BTGs at a park. When one devotee approached him to take a copy of the BTG, he was stunned to see the tilaka on his face and experiencing some strange feelings. He began to run. After running a few minutes, he stopped to contemplate on what he had just seen and how he had been so much affected. It was the experience of seeing something after a long time, a reawakening of something that had been dormant and hidden from his memory. He walked back to the park, but by then the devotees were gone. There began his search for the Hare Krishna devotees. Since ISKCON was not very well known at that time, he could not find them for a long time. It was finally during the Rath Yatra preparations in San Francisco that he found the location of the ISKCON Center. He came to the temple where His Grace Jayananda Prabhu was making the Ratha car for Jagannatha. Jaypataka Maharaj was drawn into the service of the Ratha by Jayananda Prabhu. Later he met Srila Prabhupada, who encouraged him by inviting him to take prasadam with him, with Prabhupada, and making sure he got more than just generous servings. In other words, he gave him plenty of prasadam. Prabhupada could understand the future of Jaypataka Maharaj. In just 2 months after visiting ISKCON, His Holiness Jaypataka Maharaj decided to commit himself to the principles of ISKCON. Jayananda Prabhu shaved his head, and everyone was surprised to see that within 2 months of coming in contact with ISKCON, he had shaved up and joined. In 1968, Gordon John, that was Jaypataka Maharaj's name, took first initiation in Montreal, Canada, and was given the name Jayapataka Dasa Brahmachari. And he was very soon awarded their second initiation in New York. Several years later, while discussing a difficult situation in Mayapur, Srila Prabhupada remarked upon the name Jayapataka as follows: Jayapataka Maharaj, you gave me the name Jayapataka. I hope that name comes true, that there will be victory. Prabhupada, it has already become so. So Jaya means all, let's say, success, and Pataka, I'm not sure exactly what that means. Oh, a flag? Okay, so the flag of success, right. Jayapataka Maharaj, then Jayapataka Dasa, began to render a number of services for ISKCON and Srila Prabhupada. The first, most important, was the service as the president of ISKCON Montreal. Srila Prabhupada wrote him a letter in which he said, "For the present, I think you cannot leave Montreal. Your service is much too valuable there." While in Montreal, His Holiness Jaypataka Maharaj was engaged in the service of printing books and dispatching them to other ISKCON centers around the world. In a letter dated 6th October 1968, Srila Prabhupada wrote to Jaypataka Maharaj, "I am interested in starting the press," meaning printing books. "So if you can manage it, it would be very nice." His service to the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust continued in India and continues until today, as he is one of the trustees of the Bhaktivedanta Trust, a book trust. Later, on the instruction of Srila Prabhupada, Jayapataka Maharaj went to Toronto to open a center there. When Jagadish Maharaj took over the Toronto Center as president, he wrote to Srila Prabhupada inquiring about his service, and Srila Prabhupada told him to go to India on a long visa as we have a great deal of work to do there. So he said this to Jaypataka Maharaj. Jaypataka Maharaj's flight to India gives already the hint of his expertise in traveling with the most mileage and the least expense possible. He flew for 48 hours in what was the cheapest flight in history, flying Montreal, London, Brussels, Bombay, Calcutta. Whoa, At Calcutta, Jaypataka Maharaj began to learn Bengali by going out to buy fruits and vegetables. Along with the other devotees, he conducted house programs, organized pandal programs, and personally went out on Nagar Sankirtan and book distribution, though there was so much violence in the city. Soon the devotees found a new place in Mayapur, and Srila Prabhupada arrived on 29th August 1970 in India. When he arrived, it was known that Srila Prabhupada had already given sannyas initiation to 9 persons in the USA. Srila Prabhupada one day called Jaypataka Das and asked him if he would take sannyasa, and in response, Jaypataka Maharaj said, "Yes, Prabhupada, whatever you like." Thus, on the day of the most auspicious Radhastami in 1970 in Calcutta, Srila Prabhupada personally performed the fire yajna, and Jaypataka Dasa got his sannyas initiation. This 12th sannyasi disciple of Srila Prabhupada would be henceforth known as Tridandi Bhikshu Jaypataka Swami. Arriving in Mayapur and eternal service to the Holy Dham when ISKCON got a land in Mayapur. Arriving in Mayapur. When ISKCON got land in Mayapur, His Holiness Jaypataka Swami Maharaj went there on the instruction of Srila Prabhupada. When he first arrived in Mayapur, understanding that he was in the Holy Land, he offered his obeisances and then dipped his head into the cool Ganges mud to get the blessings, recollecting how Akrura, when he entered Vrindavan, saw the lotus footprints of Krishna in the holy mud of Vrindavana. There were 5 other devotees with His Holiness Jaypataka Swami Maharaj in Mayapur. As funds were short, His Holiness Jaypataka Swami Maharaj began engaging in agriculture. He studied several books, learned different methods, and got the best crop. Local farmers were surprised and wanted to learn from him. This helped build a lasting relationship with the local people. Maharaj taught them modern techniques of agriculture, and the farmers taught him Bengali language. He began to give less classes in Bengali, where his few listeners would correct him in his language, and soon he began to perfect his knowledge of Bengali. Jaypataka Maharaj had wanted to learn even in 1968 when he was in the West, but it did not seem necessary there. His desire was fulfilled. He wanted to learn. Wanted to learn Bengali. His desire was fulfilled automatically when he was sent down to Bengal by Srila Prabhupada. Life in Mayapur in the initial days was very austere and full of different types of dangers. Now, I want to stop right there. I went to India at that point, and I met Jaypataka Maharaj, and he took me down to the Ganges, and we both went swimming. And he liked to always dunk me underwater. And then when we went back to the temple, he wanted to wrestle with me, right? So because he was definitely an experienced wrestler in high school. So and every time I would wrestle with him, he would always win. Right? He'd pin me down very easily. And but on the other hand, the real, let's say, the real quality that he had with everyone was giving tons of prasadam. He would never let anyone leave without having plenty of prasadam. And every time he would sit down and have prasadam, there would be at least 50 to 60 different dishes that would come. They would just keep coming, one after the other, one after the other. He was let's say, a gourmet of Krishna prasadam. So it was always fun having prasadam with him, but on the other hand, if you didn't eat, he would get a little bit upset. So you had to eat as much as he would give. Life in Mayapur in the initial days was very austere and full of different types of dangers. Yeah, so when I went at that time, it was in the beginning of Mayapur. So they gave me a one room to stay in, my own room. And in the middle of the night, I heard this buzzing. So it woke me up, and I was trying to think, what was that? And then again, I heard and again, it's like, I got worried. I said, what is this, So I opened the lights, and it was a gigantic beetle. I mean, it was like bigger than my hand. I'd never seen a beetle like that before, right? And every 5-10 minutes, it would start flying around in the room. But every time he would fly around, he wasn't aiming for me. He was just a big, stupid beetle, right? So he'd end up on the ground, on the wall, and this and that. So then I realized, okay, I have no reason to be afraid of this guy. But that was Mayapur at that time. There were snakes, there were beetles, gigantic beetles like that. There were lizards. There were so many things in the temple, in the rooms. And that was just because we had encroached on their, let's say, territory, right? So it took many years to get rid of all those type of different, insects and animals. But that was just India. The good thing about India was it taught you that at any moment you could die. Just crossing the street was a big, experience in Calcutta, Then taking the bus from Calcutta to Mayapur, or getting a taxi. Now, the taxi drivers would always be high on marijuana all the time. So before they would start, they'd be going like this in their palm of their hand with their thumb, and breaking down the tobacco and mixing it with the marijuana, and then they would sniff it right into their nose, and then they start driving, and it was the most scary experience in my life. Those drives from Calcutta to Mayapur. There was always just like an inch difference between a big bus or another taxi. It was extremely dangerous. Now, I think it's like that still, but the roads are a little better now. At that time, there was only one road. Two-way traffic on one-way traffic road. So that was more dangerous then. Now it's a little better because they have separated the two, the one going and the one coming are separated. But at that time there was only one road, and there were not horses, but there were cattle There was big buses, there were cars, there were taxis on a one-way road. So it was always dangerous. There were always accidents. You know. So that was the first thing I learned about India. India taught me how dangerous it is in life, because there was always something that could go wrong, and then on top of all that, the taxi drivers would smoke marijuana, and they were high as you can have it, and they would drive like crazy. So this was India like 40, 50 years ago. I'm sure it's close to that now, but the roads are better, so it's a little bit better. Life in Mayapur in the initial days was very austere and full of different types of dangers. Devotees would sleep on the floor of a grass hut. Since they were living on their own crop, they would have to eat the same vegetable for 3 months. Once, when Srila Prabhupada was there, a large cobra was found in his toilet. Prabhupada called out to Jaypataka Maharaj, and he very quickly managed to save Prabhupada. Eventually, they got a 3-room warehouse built by the main gate. Jaypataka Maharaj soon began to oversee construction work in Mayapur, and the artistic Lotus building was built. But envious circles began to give the devotees a lot of trouble. With permission from Srila Prabhupada and the police, Jaypataka Maharaj kept a gun for protecting ISKCON devotees and property. As a devotee who was with him at that time remarked, he, Jaypataka Maharaj, was a great shooter. It's like the Wild West. Jaypataka Maharaj also formed different teams of devotees called Krishna team, Arjuna team, etc., to keep guard at night. Jaypataka Maharaj was very meticulous with all his services at Mayapur. He was very careful that not an anna, meaning not a penny, was unnecessarily spent. He worked hard day and night and would most often be at least 2 hours late for his prasadam. Devotees who worked for him always found that when they took some matter to him, he not only solved it, but also added new dimensions of expansion to it. An early devotee who worked with him remarks, "There are very few people who care from the bottom of their heart about ISKCON Mayapur. Jaypataka Maharaj's experience, loyalty, and capacity of Mayapur in-house are unparalleled." Preaching in India. With the permission of Srila Prabhupada, Jaypataka Maharaj applied for Indian citizenship. This meant that he could not leave the country. He utilized his time for traveling within Bengal into the villages, preaching and distributing books. I went with him several times in his bus, and it was always an experience, a great experience. And he was always welcomed by the Bengali people because he could speak Bengali himself. And they would give a lot of prasadam, and we would perform Sankirtan. It was ecstatic, very ecstatic. Srila Prabhupada told Jaypataka Maharaj to distribute 10,000 big books and 100,000 small books every month. He found unique ways of distributing books, such as marketplace distribution, pandal programs, festival programs, and namahata. Maharaja made it a point to preach not only in the cities, but also in the interiors of India, in the villages. Srila Prabhupada had the vision of a temple of the Vedic planetarium to be built in Mayapur. He was talking to the scientists and telling them, meaning devotee scientists, and telling them to figure out the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and build the planetarium, and he also told Jaypataka Maharaj to figure it out. Well, they're still trying to figure it out, even today. They're closer now than they've ever been before, but they're still trying to do it. One time when Jaypataka Maharaj came into the room to see Srila Prabhupada, he said, "I have given you the kingdom of God. Now develop it." Jaypataka Maharaj found it as a serious and at the same time humorous statement. During the period of the initial development of Sri Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir, the presiding deities of the Mandira, Sri Sri Radha Madhava, were brought to Mayapur, and Jaypataka Maharaj recognized them from a dream he once had years ago while preaching in the West. In 1977, ISKCON Mayapur was attacked by the local villagers. I was in an attack of the villagers, and it was scary. And some of the devotees, only one devotee had a gun, and he used it. Unfortunately, nobody was killed. But at that time, it was like, Wild West. The neighboring people, most of them were Muslims, and they didn't like the devotees. Right? Later on, they liked the devotees very much because the devotees gave them jobs and paid them very well. But in the beginning, they didn't like the devotees. And you just imagine that all of Mayapur was surrounded by Muslims. It still is today. Right? But see, everything in Mayapur, in India, especially in Bengal, works on the basis of gangs. So there were all these different gangs. There was a Muslim gang, there was Hindu gang, there was dacoit gang, and so forth. And now there was Krishna gang. You had to have a gang, because it was very dangerous in those days. It's still dangerous, but not as bad. Okay, so during the period of the initial development of Sri Mayapur Chandrodaya Mandir, the presiding deities of the Mandira, Sri Sri Radha Madhava, were brought to Mayapur, and Jaypataka Maharaj recognized them from a dream he once had years ago while preaching in the West. In 1977, ISKCON Mayapur was attacked by the local villagers. They tried to take away everything, and devotees were arrested. At that time, His Holiness Jaypataka Maharaj Swami got the locals mobilized and organized a big procession from Mayapur to the Chand Kazi Samadhi, and then to the Jagannath Temple. About 25,000 people participated in the march, which consisted of 168 kirtan groups. Just imagine how he inspired the people to come together and really protest the horrible thing of trying to eliminate the devotees from Mayapur. In Los Angeles in 1970, before Jaypataka Maharaj had come to India, Prabhupada had stopped in front of a church and said that in the future, there'd just be a few devotees in the temples, but so many would be practicing in their homes. At that time, it was hard for Jaypataka Maharaj to understand this, as most devotees were living in the temple, and there was no congregation. However, the protest march and the discovery of the 168 kirtan groups and his services of book distribution, pandal programs, house programs, and enrolling life members helped him understand that there were so many people who were interested in Krishna and that they needed to be given more care. To engage all these devotees and give them training, the first Jaypataka Maharaj considered making an ISKCON Sankirtan organization. Srila Prabhupada not only gave his blessings for this project, but he also told him that the villagers could come to the temple, stay for a few days, get the idea about Krishna consciousness, and go back to their villages and establish the same thing in their own village. Prabhupada's genius, absolute genius. After Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, Jaypataka Maharaj got the Gaudiya Patrika from Bhakti Charu Maharaj, which explains in detail the system of Namahata preaching. So Gaudiya Patrika is a book. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Radha Nila Madhava ki jai. So I'll stop in a few minutes. Jaypataka Maharaj got the Gaudiya Patrika from Bhakti Charus Maharaj, which explains in detail the system of Namahata preaching. This inspired Jaypataka Maharaj to establish, expand, and develop this method of preaching. In the recent times, Jaypataka Maharaj has also developed a system of Bhakti Vriksha preaching, which assists Namahata preaching by enabling wider preaching and giving intensive and personal training to devotees so that everyone gets the chance to train to be a pure devotee while engaging in preaching activities. Nitai Pada Kamala boat. One devotee in Mayapur was touring down on the Ganges, taking a boat from Padma down, and this gave Jaypataka Maharaj the idea of a boat party. He got the permission of the devotees concerned and was sent money from New York to buy a boat. Jaypataka Maharaj personally went and brought a boat from Diamond Harbor, Habra, to Mayapur. Here is an interesting conversation which shows Srila Prabhupada's interest in this preaching mode. Jaypataka, would you like to see the Goshala on the boat today, Srila Prabhupada? Prabhupada, which side is boat? Straight. Bhavananda, boat is at Hulor Ghat. Prabhupada, boat is worth seeing. Everybody's laughing. And this was the morning walk, January 17, 1976, in Mayapur. Srila Prabhupada named the boat Nitai Pada Kamala. Soon, a set of Gaur Nitai deities appeared in Mayapur, and Srila Prabhupada personally installed them in the boat. Food for life. Srila Prabhupada wrote to the devotees in Mayapur, I want that you shall distribute prasadam at least to hundreds of persons daily and advertise very widely all over Nadia province for people to come here and take prasadam daily without charge. By 1973, Srila Prabhupada wrote to them that he was glad with the prasadam distribution reports. In 1974, Prabhupada wanted a prasadam distribution pavilion built in Mayapur where 1,000 people could take prasadam at the same time. In 1978, when floods ravaged West Bengal, Jaypataka Maharaj risked his life several times, braving floodwaters in inadequate boats to deliver emergency food and relief supplies to villagers stranded on treetops and rooftops. This and countless other selfish services for the masses of India caused tens of thousands of villagers to petition the central government to grant Jaypataka Maharaj Indian citizenship. Haribol. This was granted by the Union Government Home Ministry in 1978. Jaypataka Maharaj is the world chairman for Food for Life and ISKCON's food relief programs. The descendant of Advaitacharya himself selected His Holiness Jaypataka Maharaj to be in charge of the annual Santipur Mass Prasadam Distribution Program, Mayapur Mandala Parakram, and pilgrimages. Srila Prabhupada's Mayapur was to be a center where devotees from all over the world could conglomerate and be strengthened spiritually to continue their preaching. In March 1974, the first Gaur Purnima festival was held. 400 devotees from America, England, Europe, South America, Australia, India, and other parts of the world joined in the festival. So for the first time in 1974, His Holiness Jaypataka Swami Maharaj, led groups of devotees on parikrama or pilgrimage to local holy places. This visit to Mayapur would constitute the first half of the devotees' Indian pilgrimage. After 10 days, they were scheduled to go to Vrindavana. The Navadita Mandala Parikrama has been continuing ever since, with the number of devotees participating increasing each year in the thousands. During these parikramas, His Holiness Jaypataka Swami Maharaj takes care of not only the spiritual earnestness of all the devotees, but as a perfect host, he also sees to it that they are comfortably situated, and that is absolutely the truth. And I have to say, every time I've gone to India, and especially to Mayapur, and met Jaypataka Maharaj, he's always given me a whole pile of gifts to take back to the United States. That's how generous he is. And of course, he lavishes Srila Mahaprasadam like anything. So you can't go away from him without having a 64 different types of preparations. That's his forte. He always has 64 different dishes of prasadam. The Navadvip Mandala Parikrama has been continuing ever since, with the number of devotees participating increasing, increasing each year in the thousands. During these parikramas, His Holiness Jaypataka Maharaj Swami takes care of not only the spiritual earnestness of all the devotees, but as a perfect host, he also sees to it that they are comfortably situated. Jaypataka Maharaj also has recently introduced the Ganga Safari to visit those holy places connected to Lord Chaitanya, which are approachable only along the river flow. Similarly, he conducts a tour of holy places in India and neighboring countries to give the natives a chance to see how foreigners are happy by following Krishna consciousness, and to give the devotees more exposure to the places of pilgrimage. All these are organized very nicely and effectively. Life Chairman of Bhaktivedanta Swami Charity Trust. In November 5th, 1977, Jaypataka Maharaj went to Vrindavana to meet Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada told him, "I am making Bhaktivedanta Swami Charity Trust," and added, "You are the life chairman." Jaypataka Maharaj was at that time also got the got the mandate from Prabhupada to unite the Saraswat family, preserving the holy dham of Lord Chaitanya and serving the pilgrims. So what it means by Saraswat family, unite the Saraswat family, all the different mats or the temples and all the different Vaishnavas, Jaypataka Maharaj began to try to unite all of them. And it has worked. I can't say it's like completely successful, but there's been a lot of success with the what you would call the help of the other major mahants, great devotees, and their followers, and Maharaj has very close relationships with all the major leaders in Mayapur. area. Endless travels and GBC responsibilities. The beginning of the endless travels and GBC responsibilities 9 years after coming to India, finally in 1979, Jaypataka Maharaj got his Indian citizenship. Shyamananda Prabhu gave His Holiness an around-the-world ticket, encouraging him to travel. Then about 1980, Hridayananda Maharaj invited him to visit South America. That started his visits to South America, Chile, Peru, Bolivia. Later, Ecuador came, and other places in South America. In 1982, on the requests of Hridayananda Maharaja, Balavanta Prabhu and Rupanuga Prabhu, Jaypataka Maharaj made a base in southeast USA. What just started as a visit soon led to becoming a GBC in that area for Jaypataka Maharaj. In this, he got established. In 1984, Hamza Duda left ISKCON, and at that time there was a danger that Malaysia would be taken out of ISKCON. Then Jaypataka Maharaj was sent to Malaysia to save it, and he spent 21 days there at one stretch, which was a record. Together with Hari Sori Prabhu, they were able to save the situation. Since then, His Holiness has been looking after the preaching in Malaysia. Later on, Singapore was added. His Holiness Jaypataka Swami Maharaj is also a GBC for Assam, the large-size kartals, the wampers, that adds greatly to the ecstasy of his kirtans, are a traditional type of kartal in Assam. This was presented to His Holiness Jaypataka Maharaj in Assam. Though it is played differently in Assam than the way Jaypataka Maharaj is used to it, he developed his way of playing the kartals, the whoppers. Jaypataka Maharaj started as GBC in East India, which includes Bihar, Orissa, and Bengal. From 1980 to 1999, he was the GBC for Southeast USA, as well as South America. He is also the GBC for Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. Jaypataka Maharaj serves as co-GBC in the Far East. He is also the Minister of Congregational Preaching and Minister of Congregational Development and Vice Chairman of the World Hindu Federation and convener of the Saraswat family. That means all the big Mahants in Mayapur. While stationed in India, Jaypataka Maharaj traveled all along Bengal and Bangladesh, visiting villages, performing Sankirtan and book distribution. Later on, once he got his Indian citizenship and was invited from several leaders to visit their countries, he began what seems his endless traveling. Traveling agents are amazed at the extent of his traveling, which are also done with very careful calculations and planning to get the most mileage at the least expense. As much as His Holiness Jaypataka Swami Maharaj loves to undertake traveling to all parts of the world and accepts any hardship for the purpose of preaching, it is a great austerity for him to have to hide the symbols of a Vaishnava from his body when he is invited to preach in certain foreign countries, like Muslim countries, etc. Festivals and celebrations. Jaypataka Maharaj personally loves attending Rath Yatras simply because he likes Lord Jagannatha. It was during the Rath Yatra in San Francisco that he first came into ISKCON, and his first service was to build Jagannatha's Rath cart. Thus, he believes that it is by the mercy of Lord Jagannatha that he is a devotee. His Holiness visited Puri during the Rath Yatra in the first year of his visit to India, and Srila Prabhupada also told him to build a temple for Jagannatha in Puri, for which he is endeavoring. So he hasn't done that yet. Whenever there is Rath Yatra devotees are eager to invite His Holiness Jaypataka Swami Maharaj to attend and inspire the devotees with his ecstatic kirtan and tireless dancing. Jaypataka Maharaj also in turn attends as many Rath Yatras as possible and dances and sings for Lord Jagannatha forgetting his tiredness from traveling or other services. Uniting the Sarasvat Gaudiya family. Initially, Jaypataka Maharaj stayed in Gaudiya Mata for a few months in Calcutta and Mayapur and earned their lifelong respect. That short period of stay in the Gaudiya Mat was perhaps Lord Krishna's arrangement, as it has made it easier for Jaypataka Maharaj to relate with some of the Gaudiya Mats. While Srila Prabhupada was in Mayapur, since he knew Bengali, Prabhupada would send him to deliver messages to Sridhar Maharaja, Govinda Maharaja, and others. Thus, when Prabhupada told Jaypataka Maharaj to unite the Gaudiya Mata, he made an effort to connect the spiritual families. After endeavoring for more than 5 years, finally the Sarasvat Gaudiya Vaishnava Association was formed with the blessings of Prabhupada and blessings of all the senior Vaishnavas like Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj and other acharyas, and His Holiness Jaypataka Maharaj is the convener for this association. Accepting disciples. Sorry, a second. Okay. On 2 occasions, Jaypataka Maharaj Swami Maharaj recollects Srila Prabhupada telling him, "You are authorized to take disciples, but actually the etiquette is, in the presence of your guru, you shouldn't do it. Otherwise, you are authorized. And you are a sannyasi, so sannyasi is authorized to take disciples. That's what sannyasa means, but you don't take in the presence of your guru." In 1977, as Srila Prabhupada's health was getting worse, he once asked Jaypataka Maharaj, "What does your astrologer say?" And Jaypataka Maharaj mentioned that there was an astrologer in Mayapur who had read Prabhupada's horoscope to Bhavananda along with all of our society's leaders about 2 weeks ago. This man said that Prabhupada was a kind of avatara, especially empowered by God, so that he was free to choose whether to come or go. That means whether he wants to stay or whether he wants to leave his body and go back to Godhead. As far as his future predictions went, he said that Prabhupada's present illness would go by November 28th, when Venus entered another house, that he would take another month to recuperate, and that there would be no further illness for 7 years. Though all the devotees were hopeful that Srila Prabhupada would recover, His Divine Grace left the planet on November 14, 1977. Earlier, Jaypataka Swami Maharaj was one among the 11 named by Srila Prabhupada to give initiation on Prabhupada's behalf when he was seriously ill. Based on Srila Prabhupada's personal instructions about how sannyasis are authorized to accept disciples when their spiritual master is no more present, following in the teachings of Srila Prabhupada's books, that initiation is given by one in the current link of the disciplic succession. Yeah, you have to be initiated by a bona fide Vaishnava in ISKCON. Brahma is the original spiritual master for the universe, and since he was initiated by the Lord himself, the message of Srimad Bhagavatam is coming down by disciplic succession, and in order to receive the real message of Srimad Bhagavatam, one should approach the current link or spiritual master in the chain of disciplic succession. And the confirmation in his letters is generally the spiritual master comes from the group of such eternal associates of the Lord. But anyone who follows the principles of such ever-liberated persons is as good as one in the above-mentioned group. In other words, if you become qualified by strictly following the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness, you can also become a guru. And the confirmation in his letters that Generally, the spiritual master comes from the group of such eternal associates of the Lord, but anyone who follows the principles of such ever-liberated persons is as good as one in the above-mentioned group. This was a letter written to Janardana in New York on the 26th of April, 1968. His Holiness Jaypataka Swami Maharaj began to accept disciples as a spiritual master in Srila Prabhupada's branch of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Several devotees who were inspired by his dedication and sincerity to ISKCON and Srila Prabhupada accepted initiation from him. Many more continued to be inspired by His Holiness and aspire to take initiation from him. So how many devotees does he have now? Now he passed 50,000. 75,000 disciples. Right? Yeah. Haribol. Can you remember the name of them all? I don't think so. It's not possible. 75,000. Yeah. One day, one devotee, not Jaypataka Maharaj, he was a guru, and he was walking down he was in Mayapur, and he was walking, and there was a young devotee there, and he walked up to him and he said, "Are you initiated?" And the devotee looked at him. He said, "Gurudev," he said, "you initiated me a long time ago." He said, "Oh, what name did I give you?" That's what happens when you have, hundreds of or thousands of devotees. His Holiness, being a senior sannyasi disciple of Srila Prabhupada, has also awarded sannyas initiation to 14 devotees so far. Yeah, so there are 14 sannyasis in ISKCON who were initiated by His Holiness. Bhakti Vidya Purna Maharaj, Bhanu Maharaj, Prabhavishnu Maharaj, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, Mahavishnu Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, Mukunda Maharaj, Bhakti Vrajendranandana Maharaj, Bhakti Purushottama Maharaj, Bhakti Vaidurya Maharaj, Bhakti Vaidurya Madhava Maharaj, Bhakti Raghava Maharaj. Okay, so there were 14 devotees that received initiation it's like not first or second initiation, but it became sannyas initiations, by His Holiness. Bhakti Vidya, okay. Books written by His Holiness. Due to the intensity of his traveling and varied services all over the world, Jaypataka Maharaj hardly gets time for writing. Still, he has given translation and commentary to Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakura's Bengali poem, Vaishna K, to counteract the speculated ideas of Ritvikism, which have no basis on Shastra. His Holiness made a book called the Ritvik Maya Vada Sata Dushani, which gives 100 points supporting the importance of accepting initiation from the current link in a sampradaya. His Holiness is adept in the principle of yukta vairagya and uses all modern facilities for spreading Krishna consciousness. When the email facility came into being, His Holiness directed his disciples and others interested to keep in touch with him through email as he traveled around the world. An email conference was also formed where devotees could ask him questions. These questions and answers have been compiled into a book called The Spiritual Truths from Cyberspace. His Holiness translation of the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Prabhupada Remembrance, and 100 transcribed lectures await publication. Okay. So I think it's getting a little late, so I'll stop right there. Thank you very much. And we're very fortunate to have such wonderful personalities in ISKCON, and especially Jaypataka Maharaj Swami, who is still with us. And we should invite him to come here. I invited him once before, and he did come. Ah, COVID. Our friend COVID. Yeah, we should invite him. He always comes on the West Coast, on the East Coast. Yeah, so we should invite him. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Going to chant.
विष्णुपाद परमंद परमदिगाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री भक्तवृंद श्रील प्रभुपाद गोस्वामी महाराज की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की, समवेत भक्त वृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories. Shri Guru Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki, His Holiness Jaypataka Swami Maharaj ki, Hari Bol. Now Pushpanjali.
ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्ता सरस्वतीति नामिने। श्रीवार्षाभानवी देवी दायिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्णसम्बन्ध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माद्रोज्जलो प्रेमध्य श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग वृद्धाप सिद्धान्तध्वान्तहारिणे। नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बारसाम्बोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौर शक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगावरायते गौरवीर्भावि भूमिस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सज्जना प्रिया वैष्णवा सार्वभौमा श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामने गौरतुषे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते जयतां सरतो पंगुर मम मंदामतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पदाम्भोजौ राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्याद्वृंद अरण्य कल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधा शीलगोविन्ददेवौ प्रेष्ठालेवी सेव्यमानौ स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीतटवटतटस्थिता कर्शन वेणु सुनिर्गोपीर गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तिना तप्त कांचने गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्राणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमो आचार्यपादाय निताय कृपा प्रदायने गौर कथा धामदाय नगर ग्राम तारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमो आचार्यपादाय निताय कृपा प्रदायिने गौर कथा धामदाय नगर ग्राम तारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमो आचार्यपादाय निताय कृपा प्रदायिने गौर कथा धामदाय नगर ग्राम तारिणे एष पुष्पांजलि स्वाहा।
times, Prabhu. Three. All 3 times once. Please, please. Yeah, please offer all 3 times once right now. When you go there, offer 3 times.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hey, bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey, bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey, bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey, bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Kevala Kalo Nasteva 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 Gatiranyata Hare Nama Hare Nama Hare Nama Eva Kevala Kalo Nasteva 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 Gatiranyata Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare
Ram Hare Hare
Ram Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare
Bolo
Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare
Bolo
Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Rama Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare
Bolo
Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Rama Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hari Bol
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol Nitya Gaur Hari Bol
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitya Gaur Hari Bol
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol Hari Bol
Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol Hari Bol
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 Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hare Bol Hare Bol
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna
Hari Bol.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama
Ramo.
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare Ram,
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare Hare,
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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hari Bol,
Hari
Hari Bol,
Hari Bol,
Hari Bol, Hari Bol,
Nitai Gaura, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol,
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol,
Hari
Hari Bol.
Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol,
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Oh, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol,
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol,
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jaya Prabhupada,
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada,
Hari
Prabhupada,
Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaura Premanande ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna Maha Mantra ki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
All glories to the Harinam Sankirtan ki
Jai.
Thank you very much.
Hari Hari Bol.
Please have a good evening tonight, and don't forget to chant Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.